Hello, hi there. Daily check-in. This morning's check-in. Interesting development. Excuse me. For those who may have watched yesterday's video, I got all the shit wrong, which is interesting. It's interesting because everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason. So I went off on a tangent and there was a lot of guidance in there. Like, there was a lot of guidance. It wasn't just me going, like, connecting dots that weren't there. What am I saying? So, interestingly, my son and my husband watched the program that I had allegedly watched the night before by myself. And I was talking about Titan, blah, blah, blah. And my son was like, Mum, it wasn't Titan. It's Triton. There's an R in there. It's Triton. The show wasn't about Titan. It was about Triton. And that's where I got the connection with Neptune. And that's where I got the connection with... And so Triton looks like what I'd drawn, the smoke and stuff, the geysers coming up from the planet. And Triton was what I was trying to talk about. The Kaiser belt is what I was trying to talk about. And so my son went through this whole thing using crystals as the planets within the Milky Way and the asteroid belt and then the Kaiser belt and then the something else that I don't know, there's something else thing. I was clearly listening. And I got it all wrong. Titan is the moon that is going around Saturn, and Triton is the moon that is one of the only moons that is actually in retrograde, that goes backwards, that spins backwards, as opposed to all other moons. So that's interesting. One little letter, was different, and it brings up. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Previously, I would have been really angry with myself because I'd come on here talking about. I created a video about me talking about Titan when it wasn't actually Titan. I got it wrong. And I would have been really upset and angry with myself for getting it wrong. But now in it, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Because everything happens for a reason. And so if everything happens for a reason, I was meant to, and I felt to come on here. I think as I shared yesterday, I felt to come on and talk about it and to share the ins and outs of that experience. I don't know why people park in there. Anyway, I think it's like people parking in the kinder. Anyway, I really felt to come on and talk about it and share about it. And I felt to talk with Chatty about it. And Chatty went off on a tangent and has started creating a Titan codex. A Titan codex around it. And so that's interesting. And then even this morning, when I was in the shower, I was like, I feel like I need to go back to Chatty and ask about the origins of the word Titan. I want to know more about the word Titan. And excuse me. I want to know more. Like, give me the historical origins of Titan, of the word Titan. And so the information that Chatty gave me was really interesting. Yeah, it was super interesting and super relevant to all the things that I'm like going through and doing at the moment. The process, like integral to the process, makes sense, aligned with the process. And then when my son was like, the moon wasn't Titan, it was Triton, I was like, what do you mean? And so I was like, Chatty, Chatty, you know how we had that big conversation and you started making a Titan codex? Series of conversations, and you've started making a Titan codex. Well, it's actually Triton. And Chatty was like, that's hilarious because Triton is vastly different to Titan. So, firstly, because Triton goes the opposite way, like spins the opposite way to everyone else. He's the only one. And I was like, I'd combined them. Well, more the name with Triton characteristics. So that's interesting. So there's a lot of it's really interesting. And now most people would delve into the why. Why in the snot was I convinced and very much ran away with, what are these people doing here? Very much ran away with it yesterday. Like spent a full day, full 24 hours believing that it was Titan. And then this morning, like, what are the odds of my husband and my eldest re-watching the same program that I'd watched? It doesn't really happen very often because the system that we have to watch shows, it would show up with the next program, like with the next episode of the program. It wouldn't. So they had to have like gone back into the system and specifically said, I want to watch the episode before. Like if you're just, clicking on something to watch which they normally would. They normally would we'll just watch the next thing. But they went into it, they clicked back to the previous episode to specifically watch it. I happened to, I would normally be in reading books with my little girl in a different room. But I happened to see that they were clicking on the show and said something about Titan. Happened to mention something about Titan. And then this morning, my son happened to, I don't even know, maybe because I was talking with Chatty about Titan, like giving me more information. And he happened to see my phone, and then, oh my God, that kid looks way too big for Kinder. Mustn't be. I'm sitting outside Kinder because I've got a little sicky kid, which is awesome. As in, not that he's a sicky kid, but he's got a cough that doesn't sound great, which is interesting as well. It's interesting. yeah, that's another video. That's a video for another time. Like all the things came together so that yesterday I was convinced that I was researching Titan. But in actual fact, it was Triton. One little letter. One little letter. And so I feel like there's a lot there. There's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah. I was saying to a friend of mine, messaging a friend of mine yesterday, because, yeah, like when we sort of reconnected after a while, there was a free, I call them free Facebook programs. They're not like run by Facebook, but they're run on Facebook by people. And I'd already signed up for this program. It was I'm sure everyone's seen it. It was like very well publicized. Yeah, free 3-week program. Yeah, about doing your soul work, like stuff. I know. Yes, I'm about to do another one. But this is with my friend. This isn't like with 30,000 people all over the planet, and no support. This is like a vastly different program. Yeah, so my friend messaged and was like, hey, I reckon you should do this I've signed up for this program. Do you reckon, would you like to do it as well? And I was like, I'm already signed up. How funny is that? And then so reconnected and blah, blah. And then, why is it the last few days, every time I go to do things, there's people doing gardening works around me. Anyway, yeah, reconnected and I like sitting in the pre stuff, which at the moment the pre stuff seems to be pretty big for me before even getting into the program. Yeah, so just sitting in the pre stuff, and I was like, I as I said a few days ago, I feel like I've got all this stuff ready to go. It's just I'm not. And a lot of people could think that was lazy and all the things and just get my shit together and do it. But if the energy's not there for it, I can't. I actually physically can't now. I can't force myself to do it. The energy has to be there for it to go. Otherwise I actually just cannot. Like I can't. So yeah, I was like, I've got all this stuff. I've got all these programs ready, or not, overviews and things ready to go. I just need a platform, and I just need to go. I need the energy to come back so that I can do it. So I can, and then yeah, then sort of went into the process, did the first week, and it was interesting because the like normally those free Facebook things, they give you kind of a bit of information and a bit of an idea of what it would be like working with those people who are running it, and then and then that's like a sales funnel, like here is a little bit of information and then come join us. Whereas this was, I'm dumping a fuck ton of information on you so that you are completely overwhelmed, so that you get the sense that there's no way known you could do this yourself and want to join up. And so that was their, what's the word? That was the way that they managed it. Oh God. This guy is just putting shit everywhere. Oh my goodness. He's like living his best life, just... Oh, he just... Yuck. Yuck. He just boogered into the ground. I'm just gonna go else. Oh, it's too late now. Oh my god. Dude. Just putting shit. Like, gardeners, they just don't give a shit. Shall I put you there while I drive? I'm like literally just over there. Ooh, that's a bit loud. Yeah, and then I was saying to my friend, I was like, I feel like I'm in the same position as I was pre-program. It's not gonna work. I'll try and pre-program. Like that's where I feel like I am where I was before. And my very beautiful, well-meaning friend tried to positive it for me, you know, help to create a different a reframe, a different sense of, you know, you did. And I was like, well, no, the point is that I just sit in it. Like, this is what I'm feeling, and I just sit in it. And so I just followed my, oh my god, cars everywhere. I just followed my process. Oh my god. Yep, I have dropped you. I have dropped you, and you're probably only able to see my feet, if that. Or it may have just not worked. I may have just stood on my phone. I think I just stood on my phone. Oh no, it's upside down. I don't know if all you can see is blackness, or I don't know if my phone like conked out. I don't know what my phone's doing, to be honest. If it's still going, that's hilarious. If my video's still going, let's see. It's still going. What an interesting section. I wonder what that looked like. I'll have to go back and have a look. Anyway, I was like, I feel like I'm back in the same position that I was before. And then I sat in it. I just sat in my discomfort and frustration and annoyance and And then yesterday I just had this kind of sense that there is definitely some stuff that shifted since then. And because it wasn't my friend telling me and trying to make me feel better, it was coming from in here. It was coming from me, my intuition. It was coming from just having sat in the discomfort. It really resonated. It came through me. Does that make sense? It might not. Especially if you're someone, look at the light doing funny things. Especially if you're someone who is very much driven by the outside and what people say. I'm just doing a video. Where is he? No, he's there. One sec. This is an interesting video today. This is a really interesting video. It's got everything. Yeah, because I just sat in it. Oh no. Oh my goodness, what a crazy video. Because I just sat in it. I was then gifted information, and the information was like, I did learn stuff from many things from that free program. That's not the way I want to run my own program. Come in the car. Come in. My goodness. This is an interesting video. That's not the way that I want to run a program. Also that like phasing out of impossible, like my belief that that the change is impossible. Going through that process helped me to, yeah. I don't have the words for it. It was a process of it was going through a process from this is impossible to seeding change is possible. And then also prioritizing these videos. And it's not a conscious thing now, it's just something I'm really interested in. It's something like I want to do before I even get home from school. It's something that I'm thinking about constantly, or something comes up into my psyche and I'm like, I could do a video on that. Hence why I've done over 60 videos now. It's not something I'm like forcing myself to make time for. Why is someone parking outside our house? It's not something that I'm forcing myself to make time for. It's interesting to me. It's I'm enjoying it. Even when the phone falls on the ground and it's like, what in the snot is going on? Why are people parking here? Just because you parked? People. Why couldn't you just park there in front of the kinder? Why wouldn't you park there? Anywho, all that voting stuff has just made people lose their minds. Yeah. So that was an interesting realization as well. So we've got, Titan and Triton, which we'll delve into today. And, continuing to make lots of videos. So I hope you got to the end. I hope you enjoyed my crazy video. Crazy. I'm not editing anything. I don't edit any of the shit out. It is all al natural. Clearly.